What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Top 5 Podcast, a show where every week we choose a topic and give it a top 5 ranking. My name is Ron McNerney, and I'm joined here today with my buddies Zach Blanner,
Yo, what's up?
Colin Harding,
What's good?
and Matt Bush.
Hey, party people.
Today's show is centered around our top 5 music artists and our favorite songs by them. We decided to change it up a bit by making a Spotify playlist with our favorite songs in the description below. Boys, are we ready?
Yeah.
I was born ready.
We're skating.
We're skating, because we're skating right to you, Zach. You're starting off the show today with your number 5.
Wow. Okay. All right. So this is actually going to surprise a lot of you. I don't think if I offered $1 million, any of you would be able to guess my top 5 or my top 5th. But my 5th is the Lumineers.
The Lumineers.
The Lumineers.
Yeah. Why do you choose the Lumineers?
Honestly, man, I just love them. Their music is just it caters to all different types of moods. If you're feeling sad, they got a song for you. If you're feeling good, they got a song for you. If you're feeling like, your girlfriend just broke up with you and you're feeling a little gay, they got a song for you.
That's me, like all the time.
They just cater to all types of moods. It's rare that I can't find a song in their library that really just kind of hits the spot for whatever I feel. And I love just all of the instruments they use, the percussion, the guitar. Definitely they are like Ho Hey was one of the first songs I learned how to play on guitar, like really learned how to play. And it's just a blast. Lumineers are my top 5th. I love them.
What is Heyo your favorite song by them?
No, I'm gonna say I got a lot of favorite songs. I think the song I'd recommend is "Sleep on the Floor."
Sounds like me at a party.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of emotional. That's another thing I love about them is the emotion they put behind, like their vocals, and just you feel the music.
They have a lot of range, also.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Good. Also, we should preface. I don't know. Preface for the audience that this is gonna be we all have very different types. Like of our favorite, like I know our top 5 is gonna be a lot different.
This playlist will be very diverse.
It's gonna be the playlist like you put on shuffle and you're gonna be like, okay, and you'll be like, what? Oh, that's good. Wait, what? Like,
did you tell them what we're doing on Spotify, Ron?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you did.
But just to reiterate, we are going to be making a podcast. We are going to be making a playlist for our favorite songs. We'll be sharing it in the description. So if you don't have Spotify, get on that. Joe Rogan is on there now. So I don't know what you're doing by not being on there. That's probably how you're listening to this podcast. Any luck? Oprah for dudes. But all right, Zach, thank you for your number 5. We're going to move on to Matt.
Oh, man. My number 5, I think you guys would for sure be surprised by my number 5 because I don't really talk about him that much. But my number 5 is Earl Sweatshirt. Just for
Doesn't surprise me at all.
That doesn't surprise me at all. No, you've never once talked about
I don't
Earl
think I
Sweatshirt.
talk about Earl though.
Recently, no, I haven't heard him talk about Earl.
Dude, senior year is literally all you talked about was Earl Sweatshirt. You even called Earl Sweatshirt in school and he had nothing to do with Earl Sweatshirt.
It was 5 years ago.
I love Earl though. I love Earl for the main reason that like a lot of his music is like sad. So like if I'm feeling sad, like I can relate to Earl. Like if I'm just like down in the dumps, Earl's my go-to sad artist. Like I'll throw on an Earl album and it'll make me feel better. But like he also's got like a bunch of chill songs that like if you're just like driving and it's maybe like a rainy day, it's chilly, you can put on some Earl. It just vibes. And he's also just like a really good rapper. Like you can listen to some more of his hype tracks if you just want bars. Like Earl delivers everything that you could want.
Matt, clarify for me. Earl was in jail?
His mom sent him away to boarding school when the Earl mixtape came out. Okay. And that was like when Odd Future blew up in like 2010. So then everyone was like, oh, free Earl. Free Earl. Like there's the Free Earl hype,
Gotcha.
and then Earl came back, and then the rest, and then you just like started putting out music.
Gotcha.
What would you say your favorite song by him is?
My favorite song by Earl is called Off Top.
Why is it your favorite? Is there like a message behind it, or is it just a hype song?
It's just kind of like grimy. It's like a grimy song. Earl's bars are just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I just fuck with it.
It's just your go-to, essentially.
It's just my favorite Earl song.
Yeah. Respectable. To move on, my number 5, skipping Colin, going right to me. My number 5 artist is 3 Days Grace.
Ooh.
Simply because in my childhood, they were my favorite of anyone I would listen to. I'm not even sure how I started listening to them. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think the first song I heard by him was Riot, because it was in a like WWE like 2007 like video game for the PS2.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds about right. I think that's where I heard him. And as a little kid, I loved rock music. But I don't know, it carried me like through I guess that part of like my childhood was 3 Days Grace. So I would definitely put them at number 5. But my favorite song by them is I Hate Everything About You. I think it's the.
That's a good song though.
Yeah, it's better than Riot. I think it's just less repetitive. I think Riot is just like the lyrics are kind of repetitive, but I think I Hate Everything About You just has more of a message behind it, and I just really liked it. For the time of just like angry sad, I guess I would kind of call it, but it wasn't even like that angry. I don't know, but yeah,
more of an angst. Yeah,
childhood angst. You know how it be. You know how it
really do be like that.
It really do be like that. But yeah, 3 Days Grace, my number 5.
Mine is a very recent one. Just because it recently came out, and I've been kind of, I don't know, feeling it. I've been playing it a little bit, because my list is kind of based off of things that I like to play, because those are typically the songs and the artists that I really enjoy, since their things are extremely fun to play. So something that's more of like a party song, like something that's just fun to play with people, is Brad Paisley's new song, No I in Beer. I'm a big fan of Brad Paisley, and this new song is just a lot of fun to play with people. And I don't know, it was kind of a toss-up between this or Josh Turner's Hometown Girl, because that's also pretty fun to play. But I don't know, I kind of just picked this one just because it was probably just because it's more in my mind. It's a lot of fun. The song is a lot of fun, and it's just Brad Paisley's a lot of fun, and he also has some really good music. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that.
What genre is Brad? What genre is he? Country. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar.
Just to throw it out there, "Crushin' It" by Brad Paisley, one of the few country songs I can absolutely get behind.
Also a decent song.
Yeah.
His older stuff is really good. If you're, somebody who likes country, his older stuff is really good, and you probably agree. Not saying his new stuff is terrible, just saying his old stuff. Kind of like Linkin Park, their new stuff kind of fell off the edge, but his didn't really fall off the edge, but you get what I'm saying.
I kind of like the new Linkin Park, not gonna lie though.
I don't know. I mean, they definitely lost their edge because they were, 40, but...
And Chester,
Well, I mean, they haven't made us any music since Chester died, so...
Have they not?
Excluding that one song they released after he died.
Okay, yeah.
Him, but, I mean, actual music made by them ceased as soon as he died, so...
Yeah. All right. Flipping it back to Zach. Who is your number 4?
My number 4 is Dylan Matthew.
Dylan Matthew, a great pick. Tell us
Dylan
why.
Matthew is his vocals on all the songs he's involved in are nothing less than fantastic. He has a wonderful, wonderful voice. You really feel the emotion behind what he's singing. and it's just beautiful to listen to. And any song that he's involved in, I feel that his vocals really make the song. He does a lot of work with like EDM artists, Another Me. Is he in Potions, Ron? Is it Potions?
He is Potions.
Yeah, Potions.
Potions, Love Is Gone, Run.
Love Is Gone.
Kaiwachi.
All of that. It is beautiful. He is, but like aside from the work that he does with like features he gets on other songs, his solo work is so good. It really, you feel the emotion behind what he's singing, and you can really connect with him. At least I can. This is all like personally, but yeah, Dylan Matthew is just a wonderful singer, and musician and artist in my eyes.
Whenever he played the keyboard or the piano keyboard, whenever we saw him at Slander,
He muted himself.
Ron, you're muted.
Wait, what? What do you mean I'm muted?
What happened?
I have no idea. Did you unplug his mic?
Oh, hello. We good? We're rolling still.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
muted
you're
yourself.
rolling.
You
muted yourself.
Oh, I set it to M, and then it must not have went for OBS and Discord. But whenever we saw him at Slander back in January, it was amazing. I was happy I got to see him live.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite song by him? Did you say?
No. No, my favorite song by Dylan is Always and Forever.
Interesting. I actually haven't heard it. I know of his solo stuff, but I haven't really listened to him too much.
It's a really good song. It was definitely a song that me and my ex-girlfriend kind of bonded over. It was a song that we had to dance together one time.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
it can carry weight, pretty much is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's still one of my favorite songs, not only for what it for the music that it is, but the memories that it holds for me. So yeah, Always and Forever, definitely recommend it.
Great pick. Matt, number 4.
My number 4 is Pusha T. Because if I just need like some hype shit, that's just like, because like just the way Push raps too in a lot of his tracks, like he's very clear when he like enunciates what he's saying, and like he just makes you feel like you're like in like a 1950s like Pablo Escobar type setting. Like the way he's able to visualize the different elements of like the drug world that he comes from is just so entertaining to me. Like I'll put him on like when I'm at the gym or when I'm driving. It just gets me hyped. That's the main reason why I gravitate towards this stuff.
It's definitely like a good like gym song or gym artist
for
to
sure,
listen to.
for sure.
What
I've
what
set
song?
multiple PRs to Push. My favorite song by him is Numbers on the Board.
Numbers on the Board.
Just because again, it's hype. I can get behind it.
And you can find all of these songs that we're talking about right now in our Spotify playlist in the description below. Isn't that right, Matt?
That is correct.
Yeah, highly recommend for the gym.
100%. I always got Push in my rotation when I'm lifting weights.
All right. Well, my number 4 is Avenged Sevenfold. That was definitely like my high school
Very
phase
expected.
band. Yes, of course. It was very much my like high school phase, a little bit in a college band that I would listen to. Pretty much I discovered them around like 9th grade when Colin and I were in our English class together, and we had to Colin, what was our project for English? We had to like research a band.
Depends which project.
It was like our bands. We had to like research a band. Like you had Korn and I chose like Aerosmith. For Miss Barno.
Yeah, we just had to research a band, and I think it was kind of like during the idea of public speaking in English. So we had to research a band, do a paper, and then present it in front of the class.
Yeah.
And just explain things about the band. You know, I think we had to cover certain things like record sales and stuff and this and that, but I think for the most part it was pretty open-ended.
Yeah, well, I remember when I was doing research for my band that I chose, Aerosmith at the time, I stumbled upon their song So Far Away, which was right after their lead drummer committed suicide. Yeah, it was a great song, and I because it was on the same tone as like some of the songs I was listening to by Aerosmith, and I just listened to them through that, and then I kind of just forgot about the project because I ended up just listening to Avenged Sevenfold the whole night, and I just really vibe with their music, but a lot of so many of their songs, specifically in the Nightmare and their self-titled album, I think have a lot of like good messages and just stories behind the songs to make it like really worth listening to. But my favorite song... Go on.
No, go ahead. Oh, I thought that was your favorite song. I was going to comment on things.
Oh, yeah, no. My favorite song by them is Afterlife on their self-titled album. I would say
Jacob
my favorite
didn't
song.
like that very much.
Jacob does not appreciate that, yeah.
I'm always doing.
The Afterlife song, I think, is my favorite. Just because of... just the lyrics in general, but also just the amazing guitar solos within it that I honestly think about sometimes, like, wow, if I could ever replicate that, I feel like a god just of how good they are. But what were you gonna say about Avenged Sevenfold, Colin?
I've always held a lot of criticism in my heart over Avenged Sevenfold. Just because they are so heavily influenced by the people that they like that sometimes their music comes out sounding a lot like the people that they like. Like, I remember, I forget which song it is. It might even be, was it Hail to the King?
Their Hail to the King album got a lot of flack.
Yeah, that whole album definitely felt very, and I know that they said, hey, we were influenced by these artists for this album, but like, wow, was it like astoundingly almost like they somehow got the people in with them whenever they were writing to make it sound almost like them. I don't hate them. I listen to them. I think they have a Metallica vibe going, which I like, which is, and not like they sound like Metallica because almost nobody ever will sound like Metallica, but the fact that they do things like how Metallica does like the Man Under Ice, and like they just create this scenario and they sing about it, and it's just this cool like little song that's just fun and energizing, and I give them credit for that.
I think their stage album is probably like is better than Hail to the King, in my opinion. There's like their more recent one. I'd recommend listening to it if you are a fan of them, or
Which
just
one?
like rock music. The stage album.
The stage. Oh, I thought you meant like
2016.
Okay. Nope, we're good.
Yeah, but Colin, who is your number 4?
All right, my number 4 is one of the famous masters of blues, Eric Clapton. He is
Great choice.
absolutely one of my favorite. Whether you're talking Cream or you're talking his solo career, the man, you can't even deny it, is a fantastic guitar player.
He has true range with whatever he can do.
He's just so much fun to play. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to manipulate it, and he knows how to appeal to so many people. And it's just so good no matter who you are. If you listen to Eric Clapton, you're going to go, wow, that was a good song. You might not put him on your playlist because maybe you're not a blues fan, but you're still going to listen to him and go, wow, that was great. I'm so glad I listened to his music. My absolute favorite song to play isn't even really his song. He just did a cover of it, but he destroyed it and like just completely hit it out of the park. And that was Cocaine. It is so much fun to play. It's so much fun to listen to him sing and just do. I want to call it a skit. It's not like he does something on stage, but it's just, I don't know, with him doing it, it has a whole different tone.
Great, I would say it's a great pick, honestly. What's your favorite song by him? Can you say it again?
Cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was making sure I was sure if you were referencing a song by him.
Yeah, it's from his, Slow Hand album.
Awesome. Now, back to Zach. Who is your number 3, Zach?
My number 3 is a kind of like this low-key person. I don't know if any of you know him, but
It's
his
gonna
name
be
is
Drake.
Marshmello.
Drake.
I've
Oh,
heard
okay.
about him.
His name is Marshmello.
Not familiar with Marshmallow.
I love Marshmello. It's kind of a meme to hate on him in like the EDM community and really, I guess, any community you're in. But at the end of the day, all of the music he's produced, like before he blew up after Silence, is fantastic. And even like when you look at his stuff on Joytime, like all the way 1 through 3, it's good. It's good. Like what's weird about Marshmello is there are definitely a lot of songs like he'll release with like features. Like one that really comes to mind is like the one he had made with like Little Peeps called Spotlight. A lot of the music he can make, I'll listen to and be like, what? This is kind of dumb. But the more I listen to it, the more I'm like, you know what? This is kind of a bop. I like this song. So yeah, like I love Marshmello as an artist. I think he's really good. The music he makes is fantastic. On top of the way he's just kind of marketed himself as not only a DJ but kind of a entertainer. You know, the partnership he's made with like Fortnite to have his concert in Fortnite, along with like the stuff he's doing in gaming, and now producing as far as like rap is concerned. I think it's just really smart from like a business perspective, and I feel like there's a strong argument that he is one of the most innovative DJs in that way.
I mean, he played with Ninja, for God's sake. Like, come on.
No, like that.
You
like,
can't
that's
peak more than Ninja.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I think something that is I always like to respect is, for instance, my example is going to be Corey Taylor from Slipknot, and I like artists that say, "Hey, I like music, and I'm just going to release the music that I'm feeling at this moment." And that's kind of what he does. I mean, he kind of keeps it within a certain realm, but you can see that he doesn't just stick to like, hey, I'm just going to do robotic beats, techno, or I'm just going to do like straight up rap. Like he definitely tries to just do what he's feeling, and I'll give him respect for that.
Yeah, and not only that, like he does a really good job of complimenting like artists as far as like it seems like I feel like Marshmello has a pretty specific style whenever he's working like with what
Like a
making
sound.
solo
He has
music.
his sound.
Yeah, he has his own sound. But whenever he's working with like specific artists, it seems like he can alter that sound in a way that kind of complements certain aspects of their performance, which I really appreciate.
I mean, if the man can make 2 good songs with sudden death, I think he can make good music.
I mean, yeah, like
2 completely different
he
ranges.
Like honestly, like I was listening to some of his old stuff a few days ago, and dude, things like Magic, it's just so good. Things like Magic, all the work he does with Slushy is fantastic. And what's crazy is there's a point where let's say it was about like 2 or 3 years ago, he had like this little rock kind of phase where he was making a lot of like more rocky type music with like actual like guitars and stuff, and he was like doing the vocals in it. All that stuff was really really good. I low-key have the theory that he just like before people or not before people blow up, but he assassinates some of the artists he works with before he releases their music. Because I believe Little Peep died. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't know anything about Little Peep. I remember hearing he died, so there's a chance, don't quote me on this, that he's still alive. Matt actually would probably have a better idea of that than I would.
R.I.P. Little Peep.
All right, he's dead. So, but after he died, Marshmello released Spotlight with him, and
He
then
did the same thing with Juice WRLD.
After Juice WRLD, he had 2 songs. So if it happens again, all I'm saying is maybe we want to Check out
Man,
Marshmallow.
Juice had a prolific run of posthumous features, man.
Yeah. But yeah,
That,
my
would
number
you say
the
your
three.
favorite
weekend
song
joint,
is?
the M joint, those are all fire.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite
absolutely.
song is, Zach?
My favorite song, Alone will always have a place in my heart, but I'm gonna say my favorite song is Fly.
Great
Fly
song. That'd be my favorite by
is-
him.
Fly is the I think first song for me that kind of like I feel like Marshmello came out with like his own like sound and like his own style of music, and I feel like he kind of left that for a second once he started coming out with like working with Khalid with like Silence and Wolves with Selena Gomez. But I feel like Fly was really that return to that type of music. I have my own memories of Fly that are just fantastic, but yeah, Fly is it's always just a fantastic song. And definitely would recommend it. Alone is great as well, but I think Fly has to take my spot as favorite.
Yeah, Fly would definitely be my favorite song by him.
Yeah,
It's been the best one, I'd say, of
Yeah.
anything he's made.
yeah,
But
for sure.
Matt, who is your number 3? Oh, he's popping something.
Before
He
I
pulled
do
the
my
cork
number, I
off the
just wanted
wine
to
bottle for
preface,
this
like,
one.
my 3 through 1 is like mostly unordered. Like I love all of these 3 artists basically equally, and it can like honestly depend on the day which one I would rank higher. This is sort of like my like gun to my head, rank these or I'll shoot you type deal. But my number
'Cause
3
that's
I
what
have.
Ron
You
did.
can't talk about what
Yeah,
happened
I
before
mean,
the show.
That's basically what I'm on. My number 3 is Outkast. Simply because Outkast just like has a song for every sort of situation you're in.
Wait,
got-
hold on. When you say Outcast, you mean like Hey Ya Outcast?
Like yeah, hey ya. Like I mean yeah, they got the
Okay.
songs you can play at graduation. Hey ya, you know Miss Jackson. They got the pop stuff, but they also got like the old school Atlanta stuff that's like grimy and like really personal. And I think like if we're talking individual artists, I would have Andre 3000 on this space. But I think Outkast as a collective is their music is just so phenomenal that I have to put them up this high. They could honestly be number 1 for me, but like I said, this is a gun to my head.
What's
rating
your
here.
favorite song by Outkast?
My favorite song is Roses.
Roses. Tell me why.
Yeah, it's just a fun song. Like I love Andre 3000. He's obviously one half of Outkast, but his vocals are just like insane. Not in the sense that like he's a great singer, but his voice is like so weird. Like on their one album, Speaker Box / The Love Below, it's a double disc album, but each half, so like Big Boy has his half and then Andre has his half, which is The Love Below. But it's like poppy, but it's also like so like weird. Like the songs like just are hard to like wrap your head around, but they also just work. Like they just stick in your head all day. Like it's one of the best albums I've ever heard. And Roses is my favorite song from that album.
Choice.
Like there's not much to say about Outkast that hasn't already been said. They're just so influential. Like one of the biggest acts of the 2000s for sure.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't put a face to the name, but I'm sure if I heard a song, I'd be like, oh, okay.
You've heard at least 3 Outkast songs in your life, just passively.
You've definitely
Okay.
heard Hey Ya.
Yeah, you've
Oh,
heard
yeah.
Hey Yeah, you've heard So Fresh, So Clean, you've heard Miss Jackson.
I'm sure
All
if
the
someone
greatest
played
hits of
them, I'd be like,
Outkast.
oh, okay.
If you've seen the
that's
any of the Scooby Doo movies, you've seen it.
If you've seen like any movie from the 2000s, Outkast is probably on that soundtrack.
Is it in Shrek? Is Outkast in Shrek?
I think they are, honestly.
They might be.
I'm pretty sure they're on that soundtrack.
It's been a while since I've watched Shrek.
Yeah,
I've
been a
seen
while
it
for
too
me,
many
too.
times at this
Kirk is
point.
fantastic.
But
odds are the audience
yeah.
has heard of Outkast and they love them.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
let
my
off
number
a
3.
subtle who in the beginning because I honestly had no idea. Like, I'm sure if I had listened to a song, I would know.
Yeah,
who they are.
you've heard Outkast before.
But my number 3, we're going more into the EDM side of stuff, is Sullivan King. I would give him my number 3. So as you've heard from my number 4 being Avenged Sevenfold and 5 being 3 Days Grace, I feel that Sullivan King really bridges the gap for me for like metal rock music
Absolutely.
to electronic dance music. I didn't even know you could do like metal dubstep that much. So just like, yeah, that was amazing. And then I listened just to his Lost Lands 2017 set. And I kind of just fell in love with him there. And his Twitter game is amazing. I think he's on Vine and oh my goodness, TikTok.
Fine.
And the same thing.
Mm.
Same thing. Sorry. I'm a boomer, by the way, audience. But
TikTok is for Zoomers. It's the
Yeah.
Zoomer Vine.
yeah, Zoomer humor. But I low key have wanted to download TikTok for only 2 people, and that's Trevor Wallace and Sullivan King. And I've considered doing it.
Download TikTok for Ray William Johnson.
Oh, God. But yeah, I don't know. He's a very funny guy, a very genuine guy. Like when I met him after one of his concerts before, he's super nice. He has great music. He's a very he can have vicious but also like tear jerking songs and just have like the personality to fit it. It's amazing. But all of his vocals he'll do live at like his solo live shows and some like ones he'll feature on. But yeah, overall great artist. If you're definitely wanting to like bridge the gap between the 2 genres. But my favorite song by him would have to be Wake Up, featuring him and Excision on Excision's Apex album. My one definitely has like the first half of it being like chill and like a smooth, like nice kind of melodic drop, and then the second one just being a lot heavier and then just having like it's kind of like a surprise drop the first time you hear it because you don't expect it, and especially live it just like echoes and it's amazing. I would always recommend that song, especially for hype up, as Matt has talked about, like with his artists too. Like he likes the hype up music occasionally. But yeah, I would recommend Wake Up by Sullivan King, or just him as an artist in general. But Colin, what is your number 3? Who is your number 3?
Who is my number 3?
Who are
my
they
number
or
3?
them?
That might be a surprise for the people in this group is actually Korn.
At number 3.
What? Yeah, number
The
3.
reason
Number 3.
being-
That surprises me.
The
but-
reason being is this is more about like music that I enjoyed playing, and there's 2 songs that are a lot of fun to play that are just above it that just really, I think, took the lead for my idea of how I organized my list. But Korn is probably, like, if you talk about my absolute favorite song, it's going to be this song that I'm going to state soon. But Korn is one of my favorite bands. They're arguably my number 1, but the way I organize my list right now is based on how much fun I have playing certain songs. And this song is definitely, like, honestly, my 1 through 3 could easily just all be a tie for 1. But this one is gonna be Falling Away From Me by Korn. I think something that this one captures is how different everybody who came together in Korn was, because you have this crazy like funk vibe coming out of it. You have the extreme like scattiness of the singer. You have just the metal vibes that they all bring together. You have, I mean, honestly, it just seems like every element. You have the disco drums. Everything's just kind of, it's all there, and it really like shines as almost like a whole new genre of music altogether with just this one song. In my opinion, it's so much fun to play if you're a guitarist. Don't watch them live if you want to play it correctly, because the way that it's pretty much everywhere is not the correct way to play it, unless you're somebody who like actually understands guitars a little bit more than, you know, people who are just playing songs for fun. Then you know that yourself once you listen to it. But this was like one of the first songs that I learned on guitar because it was so much fun. I even bought Monkey's guitar because I love Korn so much. And it's one of my favorite guitars to this day is his guitar. It's his old Apex, way before, not his Universe, but his first Apex. And that's still a symbol of how much I love Korn today, is the fact that I went out and bought their guitar.
Yeah, it's awesome. In high school, you were definitely like the corn guy. I mean, that's who you chose your topic for that English project we were talking about.
I mean, corn. Like I said, these top three might as well just be all shared in number one, and it's just based on what mood I'm in that day. Because the next two,
it's just too
easily
hard to order
interchangeable.
them.
It really is. And honestly, like I could have had 100, honorable mentions, but the fact that I have to keep it limited for everybody is obviously something that's extremely tough.
That's the fun part about the show. You really have to think,
Yeah.
like, when you're making your list of like, why do I like them, and like, what is my favorite song and everything. Yeah, great number 3, definitely. Zach.
Yo.
Number 2.
My number 2. My number 2 is Adam motherfucking Palu. I don't even know if that's how you say his last name, but Wooly, if you're hip with it. I love Wooly to goddamn death.
Wait, you mean his first and last name isn't Wooly, like Cher or Beyonce?
No, I love Wooly. He's one of my favorite EDM / I guess bro step is more of his style of EDM / dubstep.
There's so many goddamn classifications.
Yeah, dude. There's yeah.
Bro, what is bro step?
Bro step?
It's step with your bros, bro.
Yeah, it's
Step
honestly,
with the
I couldn't
bros.
even describe how, like, there's so many different classifications. And honestly, that's like, side note, like, one of the things I hate, like, if like you talk to somebody who doesn't really listen to like EDM or dubstep, the first thing they think of when you say like, oh yeah, I like EDM or dubstep, they think you're like in like a Russian techno club just listening to like for 4 hours. And that's
I'm definitely a victim of that.
And like,
yeah. You have to tell the difference between house and like psytrance compared to just dubstep or whatever.
Right. I mean, like Illenium, like he's considered EDM / dubstep, yet a lot of his music is on the radio, like Good Things Fall Apart and stuff like that. So
that's mostly because the feature.
I don't even know about that one though. I mean, I guess
Mostly, it's usually mostly because of the feature.
But yeah, like there's all different types of flavors. But Wooly, I love Wooly. He does he makes a lot kind of more heavier stuff. Like if you look at like He Thick and Cyclone, love those 2 songs. Even though that's not my favorite that I put down. I love his whole like woolly mammoth thing that he has going. I bought his one of his hoodies from his website, his Woolly Vuitton hoodie. Love that hoodie.
Oh, that's so fresh.
Yeah, dude. It's instead of the V, it's a W with an L. It's awesome. But yeah, I love Wooly. I love the way he makes music. He does suffer. I don't even know if you can say suffer, but he does have that. I forget what the thing is called, but like where you can see music, or like you can like see or like taste music or something like that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
We've talked about it before. I know what you mean.
Not particularly, no.
There's like, I don't know if it's considered like a disability or like some type of, because that's the thing is I don't know if it would really be a disability, but like some people have like something that like they
Is he like an X-Men mutant?
No, it's I can Jamie, can you look that up actually?
On it, sir.
No, there's something. And honestly, if you're in the chat or if you're in the comments, please like tell us, like that'd be great. But it's something like you can like see and taste music. So I really think that's really cool about how he does his work. A lot of his live sets, I don't know. It's something about his music. It just really hits home for me. I think my favorite song by him is probably Lucy in the Sky. It's definitely different from what he's been putting out recently. It's nowhere near as like high BPM or like heavy as like what he's been doing recently, but it's a lot more chill. It's like kind of relaxing, and it's definitely one of his earlier songs. I kind of feel like give you a really good look at like who he is, not only as a person but as an artist. But yeah, Wooly, number 2.
Zach, for the fans at home too, it's synesthesia.
Synesthesia, that's it.
Yeah. Jamie looked that up, and he got back to me. So
Yeah, Jamie got back to us.
Jamie got back to us on that synesthesia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry. Can you say your favorite song by him again? I was looking this up while you probably said it.
Lucy in the Sky.
Lucy in the Sky. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a great song. That's a great song. Matt, number 2.
For my number 2, we're gonna have to put on our backpacks and our pink polos, because my number 2 is Kanye West, aka
West.
the Louis Vuitton Don.
Louis Vuitton. Who has said that?
The Kanye said that he's the Louis Vuitton Don, dude.
Oh my god. This man is an icon. I swear to God.
Yeah, Kanye is an icon. What is there to say about Kanye that hasn't been said?
Dude,
I would argue that Kanye has the best discography of any hip hop artist ever. Just because he's been doing this shit for so long. He's got like maybe one miss, depending on the type of person you are. Some people hate Kanye more than others. Personally, I only don't like one of his albums, which is 808s. I know I might catch flack for that, but I don't like it.
Boo.
I mean, I just love Kanye. Like, I love Kanye for his music. I love Kanye for his fashion. Like, people meme on it, but I think it's pretty cool. I like the Yeezy shoes. I like the Yeezy lineup.
It's very different than
the
I feel
fashion.
a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
people
very
are-
different. Kanye is very unapologetically Kanye, which I think is something to admire. Honestly,
Real
everyone
quick,
write
Matt.
in Kanye for 2020. Except don't do that. I was just kidding.
Except don't do that.
Except don't do that. I was
Matt.
just kidding.
What would you say is better, My Life of Pablo or Graduation?
It depends on how I'm ranking them. There's like I think if The Life of Pablo is my favorite Kanye album, but objectively, I think Graduation is better because it's more influential and has like more
I'm
hits
right
on
there
it.
with you. Yeah, I love Graduation.
Like, I mean, Graduation is phenomenal.
Dude, my
Even-
favorite Kanye album will forever be the one he made with Jay-Z.
Watch the Throne. Watch the Throne's great.
Yeah.
Even like,
Yeah.
I love Kanye as a producer too. He's a fantastic producer. Like, there was a run in 2018 where he was producing a bunch of people's albums. Back to my number 4, he produced an album for Pusha T, which I love to death, and his Kids See Ghost collaboration with Kid Cudi. One of my favorite albums of all time.
collab. You
That's
like
such a
forced me to watch
fantastic
that.
album.
Listen to it. I mean,
Fantastic album.
yeah, I wasn't even opposed to like listening to it, but I think that's like the album you've pushed on to me the most of like any.
It's not really like a
song
hip hop
or
album
whatever.
either. It's just good music.
Good
Like,
music.
It's a, like, yeah, it's good music. But like the production's like all over the place too. On the last track, there's a Kurt Cobain sample that really like ties the whole album together. It's just so good. Please listen to Kids See Ghosts.
What is your favorite song by Kanye?
My favorite song by Kanye is "Devil in a New Dress."
Devil in a New Dress. Does he pop off? Like, what's the reason? What's the reason for I haven't listened to it? What's the reason?
Mostly the beat. The beat's just incredible. Obviously, Kanye's verses are great. The Rick Ross feature on it is it's definitely like top 3 guest verses of the last decade. Like, it's just such a phenomenal verse from Ross on that track. It's weird. Like, my favorite Kanye track could change from like week to week. Like, maybe some days I'll like No More Parties in LA. Maybe some days I'll like So Appalled, or like some stuff, or like what's one of the ones from Late Registration?
You cut out. What did you say?
It's fucking Graduation. Whatever. Basically, Kanye's got so many bangers, but Devil in a New Dress is my favorite overall.
Are you referring to like Can't Tell Me Nothing or Good Morning?
Yeah,
on
like all that
Graduation.
fun
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Homecoming essentially. Like that song. So good.
Man, Homecoming, dude. Homecoming's so good.
It's such a good song.
I love Kanye.
I gotta say it. I love Kanye. I just have to say it. No, Kanye is a fantastic artist.
Do you like fish sticks?
Yo,
Now, Ron, I'm gonna let you finish, but
all I gotta say is nothing
Get it.
is more, and excuse the pun, but nothing will be more powerful than getting in Saints Row 3, about to jump out of a helicopter into your old high-rise penthouse and take it back when you're skydiving to power. Nothing is more powerful.
That is the
than fear.
best part of that game.
Dude.
Yeah,
10
that's
out of
one of their best
Dude.
cinematic moments in that game.
top 5 gaming moments.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's definitely one of the best cinematic moments in gaming.
It's up there when you're burning the weed fields to bun them in Far Cry
Oh my
3.
God. That's everyone's introduction to Skrillex if they didn't already know who he
Yeah,
was.
honestly. I even remember in like middle school there were kids who don't even play video games that were like, "Did you hear this new thing that like apparently like was on these video games?" And I was like, how are people who aren't even into video games hearing about the fact that it was in a video game instead of just hearing about the song?
Because it popped
Amazing.
off.
Yeah, I mean it was
I'm sure
insane.
I'm sure if like TikTok was as big as it is now, like if it was like then back then, I guarantee it'd be in TikToks. That song would have had to have been.
It probably
Absolutely.
would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but to go off,
Take over Stoner TikTok.
what was that?
I said it would take over Stoner TikTok.
Oh, absolutely. Talk.
Talk.
All right. But to go off Matt's Kanye's is number 2. My number 2 is Millennium.
Millennium.
Absolutely love him. So,
I've been waiting for him, Rob.
pretty much, yeah. And I'm sure you already know who number 1 is. Everyone knows who number 1 is. But
Yeah, I've been known.
yeah, I know. You're gonna be so surprised when I say Drake. What?
I'd be so surprised whenever I, say that guy down the street.
6
But
with my woes.
so with all my other my 3, 4, and 5 picks, Millennium is definitely completely different. I don't remember like how I started listening to him. I just remember just cutting the grass one day, and I think I was listening to a mix, and his song "Crawl Out of Love" was in one of them, and I was like, I just had to find out who like made this song, and then I started listening to him. So I joined up after like Ashes dropped, which is an amazing album, but his songs. I can't name a bad Millennium song. There hasn't been one where I'm just like, like this was like not even just okay. Like all of them I've listened to have been good. Okay. But there hasn't been one that I think is bad or a mediocre. Like especially like his collabs and everything that he's just done, like with his group of friends too, like Dabin, Said the Sky, Seven Lions, William Black, everyone. They're all just fantastic songs. And with Griffin too for like Feel Good. His Chainsmokers Takeaway song, fantastic.
Yeah.
In Your Arms with Ex Ambassadors or Good Things Fall Apart, John Bellion, fantastic. That being said, I would say Ascend is my favorite album by him. As much it goes back and forth, I feel, between a lot of people with Awake and Ashes. But I think Ascend is the best. Mostly because of how the way it was made. So if you do listen to it, for about like 80% of the songs, they lead into the next song, which is always nice. Just makes it feel like the album is just like an hour-long story.
Yeah,
So it's really good. And a lot of all the songs that I listened to in an interview, I'm not sure if it's every song or the majority of them, but they've always been like a message like with his life, because I believe if I am getting this correctly, he OD'd and almost died, and then because just life was just miserable for him at the time, so then he started making music and then vented out like his feelings through music, and it's just fantastic. He gets like a lot of flack, I feel, for being like just chill, which is totally fine. It doesn't matter. Not everyone has to be like heavy. But his heavier stuff that he has made, like with Excision, and songs like Blood, are just fantastic.
Blood is so good.
Blood is so good. I would go on the verge of saying, actually, I would definitely say that Gorgeous is more of a heavier side song too, like with the songs that he produces. But all in all, fantastic artist. But for my favorite song, I would have to say it's Lonely by him. The last song on the Ascend album. It has a prelude called Angel, which I believe is that whole like that like song, quote unquote, like just the prelude was something from a movie. I think Good Will Hunting. I could be so wrong by saying Good Will Hunting. I'm sorry if that's completely wrong, but it just, they lead into each other so well, including Gorgeous. Just like those last bits, I just love it. And Lonely just hits me in so many different ways, just with the lyrics and everything. Chandler Layton is a fantastic vocalist. But yeah, it's gone between Lonely and Crawl to Love for me, but absolutely would be Lonely. So in this playlist, if you are listening to it at the gym, you're gonna be like, all right, great, this is so good. We have so many of these pump up songs, and then Lonely's gonna hit. You're gonna be like, okay, like what am I doing now? You're gonna go sit
No,
in the,
I'm sad.
you're gonna go sit on the treadmill that's not even running and just cry for a little bit and then get back
No, it's
up.
gonna be running.
It's gonna be running. You're just gonna have it just gonna fly off of it.
You can do somersaults on it.
But yeah, absolutely would recommend Millennium and the song Lonely. But Colin, who is your number 2?
So, as a little side note, I finally thought of how I ranked everything, and I put it into words. These are my favorite guitarist artists. That I'm kind of ranking it by, versus just the whole band. Because like, obviously, if it was the whole band, Korn would be number 1. But there's definitely been people who have been very influential in my guitar enthusiasm.
Sure,
I don't know
sure.
what that word would be, because it's not enthusiasm, but it's my giant hobby of guitars.
Your inspiration, everything.
Yeah. So my next one is Bobby Lynge from Fit for a King. Bobby Lynge is insane at what he does. If you haven't heard of Fit for a King, they're a little bit of a smaller band. They are like very heavy metal. If you're somebody who's more Christian, not that they do Christian metal, but they are Christian people who have Christian beliefs, and some of their songs may align with your beliefs if you're Christian. Their music blows me away every time I hear it. Because they're still making music that it's just, if you're somebody who's into heavy stuff, it's just blowing you away every time you hear it, because they managed to put so much sound with just 4 people. And I think the thing that really blows me away with Bobby is that so much of his music and so much of his sound he created with just a small app on an iPad. That's what the first 2 albums were recorded on. Was, I forget exactly what it was. So, it was it wasn't GarageBand, I'll tell you that, but it was some kind of bias for guitar, and he hooked up his guitar to an iPad and created one of the most unique sounds I've ever heard, and I still love, and I still usually like, it's a preset on one of my amps. I constantly use it. Absolutely so much fun to play his music, and my favorite song is Stacking Bodies. If you want, like, whether maybe you're a fan of dubstep or electronic music or whatever, and you really like drops, this is the metal version of probably the sickest drop you'll ever hear in your life. I absolutely love it. I listen to it all the time, almost just for the drop. I remember I was talking to my cybersecurity teacher back in my sophomore year of college, and we were talking about music because he ended class early, which I wasn't going to leave class to go to their concert early because I wanted my associate's degree in cybersecurity, but I decided that I'll stick around as late as I can, and I'll run in and go watch them. And as I was running in my car, he caught up to me and he was like, "Where are you running off to?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to see a band." And we started talking about music, and he was like, "I freaking love Fit for a King. They're so good." And I got in, and I missed their first 2 songs, but I got in as they started playing this song. And hearing it live,
It's like kind of poetic.
it's one of the best things I've heard live. Just because the energy in this, where I forget where it was, but this place was, maybe fit 10,000 people at most. and the energy there was just everybody was in full sync with the song, and I don't know, there was just so much energy in the room. I loved it, and hearing it live just made it even more real to me.
Did you see them in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I saw them in Pittsburgh.
Was it a KeyBank or PPG?
It was down in Southside.
So we went all the way out to Pittsburgh?
From
I forget.
Wisconsin?
4 hours away from us.
I forget what
Yeah, it's
which
crazy.
one it was. You know, I mean, it didn't fit that many people, but the entire place was packed to see Fit for a King, and I forget the other guy. I listened to them a little bit. They're good. Some of their music doesn't really vibe with me all that much because it's a little bit more of that, you know, how people always describe Bullet for My Valentine and stuff. They're not as...
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're good. They're definitely not Bullet for My Valentine, because Bullet for My Valentine might as well be a meme in the metal community, but they just kind of give off that little bit of vibe to me. But these guys, Fit for a King, absolutely amazing. And Bobby Lynch sadly left this year because, or maybe it was last year, I forget exactly when it was. But he said, "I want to sell plants with my hot ass wife." That was his exact quote.
We love that.
He's still going to write songs with them, but they have a new guitarist who's going to go on tour. So luckily we'll still have the influence of Bobby Lynch. I don't know if we'll still have the same sound, because just like with any actual band, the sound matters so much per person. You change one person, the entire band changes. So I don't know if they're going to keep Bobby Lynch's sound since he's still writing music for them, or what they're going to do, but I'm excited to see what happens.
Good. Great number two. Great number two. I've never personally listened to him, but maybe what was the favorite song again?
Stacking Bodies. It's
Stacking
about
Bodies.
how, you know, was this massive genocide in Africa, and you know, so many people complain about stupid things in America, and meanwhile, you know, there was a massive genocide in South Africa, and nobody in the world talked about it. We just kind of let it fall apart, and that's kind of what it's about, is like how there's serious problems and you should be happy for the, you know, things that you have. And since they're a little bit more Christian, they say, you know, the devil is everywhere and you're just feeding into him. So it's a good song. It's a really, really good song.
Zach, real quick, we're at the part, everyone. We are at our number one pick of the top 5 list. So Zach,
Yeah.
hit us with the number 1 pick.
My number 1
And now a word from our sponsor.
is Alice in Wonderland.
Really?
That is
Number 1.
Allison, as in the name Allison Wonderland, not Alice in Wonderland, but Alice in Wonderland. Yes, Alice in Wonderland is my number 1 pick. On top of the fact that she is absolutely gorgeous. We all saw that video, that Slytherin video you put on Instagram, Allison. But I think she is a wonderful, not only just DJ but producer. Her Digital Mirage set was fantastic.
Oh, I've listened to it so many times.
Oh my god!
Literally just for the Tyler the Creator part. Honestly, it is like part of it, but
yeah, like the next day
fantastic.
I ripped it off YouTube immediately and made sure I had it on my iPhone, so that way it would never not, like, I would never not be able to listen to it.
Yeah, fantastic set. Fantastic.
It
set.
is it was awesome. But yeah, I just love her music. Her music really it's really it's just so good. Like I feel like there's a story behind each one of her songs. I don't
It's
know
hard to put into words like how good like the music.
Yeah,
would be.
I don't know who hurt her, but like thank you because we have this music, but also fuck you. But her latest album Awake is amazing. I think it might be my favorite album, but also Run is fantastic as well. I just think she is just a phenomenal producer of music and DJ. And usually, anytime, like, she's definitely someone who, depending on the mood, like, she definitely has sets where if she is like, if I'm feeling like more of like a gym vibe, she has a set for that. If I feel more of like a kind of in a sad mood vibe, or like I'm a little upbeat, like she has a set for everything. Her one back to back with, I think, Diplo and Jaws is amazing as well. I think that was the old EDC, but
I think it was like the
yeah.
Diplo and Friends set.
Yeah. And I love how she's now making like tutorials on her own YouTube channel. Like she has a YouTube channel that she's like doing all kinds of cool stuff on. And one of them is tutorials on how to DJ and things like that, which I respect more than anything. But yeah, I love Alice in Wonderland. She's one of the few DJs that I actually got to see live in concert. And my favorite song, honestly, this is probably the hardest to pick a favorite song out of any of them. But I chose Awake just because I felt like it really captured her
Great song.
overall. Like, it really sets the tone for her. Like, if you listen to Awake and you don't like it, honestly, I can't imagine you not liking it, but I also can't really imagine you liking her music overall if you don't like Awake.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also the name of her newest album as well. Can't wait for that new album that I'm sure she's working on. But
The new Nintendo DS.
The new Light XL.
Exactly.
Yeah. Great pick is Alice. I was wondering where she would be on your list. I wasn't sure if she'd be number one or not.
Yeah,
great
she
pick.
wasn't actually for a while, but I was like, you know what? The more she's the DJ I kind of go back to the most. I feel so.
Got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Wonderful DJ.
Matt's number one pick. Whom is it?
Dude, my number one is gonna be so surprising for you guys.
I don't know if it will be.
My number one is Kendrick Lamar.
Who? Who is Kendrick?
Who?
You've
Well,
never
surprising to
talked
me.
about.
What?
You drove to Philly to see him, and he's your number one.
No, I drove to Philly to see Q, Schoolboy Q, and Joey Badass.
I thought it was Kendrick.
I saw Kendrick, but he came
Matt,
to Pittsburgh.
Matt, all right. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to tell us why "To Pimp a Butterfly" is the worst Kendrick album.
But
Go
it's
ahead.
not though. To Pimp the Butterfly is better than probably all his other albums. You're just a hater. Listen.
What? Tell us why. Tell us why Kendrick's your number one.
Kendrick he has a song for every vibe. Like he's got pop stuff. He can make bangers. I really love his ability to tell a story in a song. I think one of my favorite tracks, it's not my favorite track, but one of my favorites is called Duckworth, which is his last name. And it's a true story about how the manager of his label like almost robbed the KFC that his dad was working at. Or he did rob the KFC his dad was working at and like almost shot him, but his dad knew him, like knew the label manager. So they were like cool, so he didn't shoot him up whenever he was robbing the KFC. And about how like that interaction then came full circle, and now that Kendrick is one of the biggest faces in music right now, how like they're both able to eat off the success of that one friendship that happened like many years ago, which I thought was like such an amazing story to tell.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a pretty insane track. I would definitely give it a listen.
You said his dad was working at the KFC?
Yeah, his dad worked at the KFC that the label manager was gonna rob. Like he did rob it.
Was
Like,
Kendrick born? Was Kendrick born yet?
No. I think Kendrick was born when this happened.
Okay.
Like he didn't start like rapping until like his teens.
Yeah. Sure.
But it's just like an interesting story about how it all comes full circle.
I am not the biggest rap fan. Recently, things that I've been interested in are like Kamara or Bill Saber, but I have to say, I didn't listen to Humble, and then I heard a Humble cover by Dovi Das on YouTube. And I was like, holy shit, this song is amazing. And it was like this crazy, if you go watch them, Matt, you might even like the cover yourself, but I was listening to this and it was awesome. I loved it. And then I went and listened to his, and I was very disappointed after hearing the cover and then going to his song. So I'm sorry, Matt, that I had to say that, Tale, but
That's fine. I love Humble.
I'm not
Humble's
saying that
a
he's
great
bad.
track.
I'm not saying that he's bad. It's just if you listen to this cover, you'll be like, wow, this is a really good song. And then you'll be like, hey, wait, Kendrick's is extremely different. Like this guy, he basically just kind of took the lyrics and ran with it.
Matt, that song with about Kendrick's dad is and the label manager, was that your favorite song?
No, it was just one. I wanted to give an example of how I love that he can tell a story.
Gotcha. What would you say your favorite song
In his
is?
songs. My favorite song is Money Trees.
Money Trees.
For sure.
Which album is that on?
It's on Good Kid, Mad City.
That's right. Okay, you had me listen to the album. I knew it sounded familiar.
It's my personal favorite Kendrick record. I love all his records. To Pimp a Butterfly is like the rap snob best Kendrick album. I think it's a close second, but I personally like Good Kid, Mad City more.
Matt, I have to say, I love how out of everyone I know, you're the only person who calls them records and not albums.
But they are records.
Kendrick makes records. Some people make albums, some people make records. I like calling them records.
It sounds more classy when you call them records.
Yeah, more classy.
All right, but to transition to my number one artist, a surprise to absolutely nobody who knows me personally, is the man himself, Excision.
Big Daddy Jeff.
That's kind of mind blowing. Wait, Big Daddy Jeff from the Overwatch team?
Who's this guy that you talk about?
He's like this pop singer.
Oh, this is Jeff, son of Paul.
Yeah, Jeff's.
This is Jeff.
Yep, my name Jeff. But no, the dinosaur man himself, Excision, which is the only reason I think Matt would like and enjoy Lost Lands.
That would be lost.
I need pictures with the dinosaurs.
He'd get microdosed with something, and then we'd find him fucking the Triceratops.
Oh, jeez.
It's true.
It is true.
Not even a lie, though.
It's like your own. It just all right. There's a bunch of reasons I'd join him. So I started listening to him like early high school, with like some of his like very early albums. Some of the songs in it being like Bounce, for example, just like the older, more grimy shit that he used to make.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I kind of felt I kind of fell out of him a bit, but I started transitioning to like a lot of different types of music. So like I was just listening to some like completely different from like metal and rock and stuff. But then I like kind of rediscovered him again in college, and then I went to see him live, and after seeing Flume live the year prior, and I was like, oh, okay, this is like what an EDM concert would be like. I went to Excision, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is so much different, and I was not expecting it at all. Like, of just the amount of work that gets put into the shows. Back then, when you compare them to now, they just don't even, like, it's so hard to compare them. Like, if you were to watch a video from his, like, 2017 show to his 2020 show, that Evolution tour that he was going on, which unfortunately, thanks COVID, the rest of the world couldn't see. The production value is there. Like, it is the best, I think, like, after, thanks to Ticketmaster, was like a $75 ticket. The best money I could have ever spent at a concert. The lineup is always incredible for his shows. The production is always there. The visuals are amazing. And then just besides that, all the work that he puts in for up-and-coming artists, the two festivals that he runs, Lost Lands and Bass Canyon, the man just doesn't stop and is consistent with albums every 2 years. But I would say my favorite song by him is Drowning, featuring Aquila.
We met them.
Yeah, Zach and I met Aquila at Lost Lands.
Yeah,
Great group of gals.
absolutely.
Yeah, but I would say Drowning is my favorite. It was was my favorite song off of the Virus album. I don't know. I think just the vocals are what gets me the most, and just the second drop it just matches them very well, and I think it just keeps that tone throughout the entire song, which I think just makes it the best that he's made. But it was hard for me to choose between Drowning and Vault. Vault is just like the mashed up collaboration of like all of his like big songs, while also still being like unique. Just as like it would be a vault, like the Disney Vault. But just, yeah, fantastic songs. I think his Apex album is the best album though, but I'm excited to see if he drops an album this year, which is looking like he's going to, but we'll see. Might be more towards the end of the year.
No,
yeah.
If you need to get hyped up real quick, listen to Vault. It'll do it.
Yeah, if you need a hype up, it's Vaults or Lockdown. Like, those two are 100%. That's where you're getting hyped up. But Drowning is just a very, like, I think it's just more of a powerful song than anything. So that's why I just pick it. And then when he played it at Lost Lands, I remember I was standing next to Zach, his back-to-back set with Millennium, conveniently my number 2. And then they started playing Drowning. I was just, like, freaking out. I was so happy because I was so sad he didn't play it the first night. But then when he played it the third night, it was just fantastic. But yeah, Decision's my number 1. Coming to no surprise from anyone. But Colin, the final person, what is your number 1? Who is your number 1?
Absolutely no surprise from anybody. The man, the myth, the legend, Michael Salvatore.
Michael Salvatore.
No, I'm kidding. But
does he own the Italian restaurant down the street?
No, I just wanted to hear everybody's silence whenever I said it.
I felt I'm gonna be 100% honest, Colin. You made it sound like it was supposed to be a no surprise thing, and I felt really bad because I didn't know who this person was.
My actual number 1 is Tosin Abasi. That guy's in charge of all the music from Halo 3 and
okay.
And like anything Bungie. He's the guy who.
Dude, the Halo 3 soundtrack smacks the.
He wrote probably my favorite soundtrack, which was The Taken King. That's like, you listen to the music in The Taken King and it's phenomenal. I mean, he's won awards over the stuff that he wrote for Taken King. So, but anyways, my actual number 1, who is like honestly, like, the man has reinvented, in my opinion. I mean, so many people also believe it that listen to him, is he's completely reinvented music.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who is your actual number 1?
I'm getting to that. This man has completely reinvented music. He defined his own genre with just him and his 2 bandmates. Like, they created their own genre by themselves.
There's a queen than that.
His name is Tosin Abasi from Animals as Leaders. And Animals as Leaders, yeah.
Interesting choice.
The man, if you're a guitar fan, you've definitely heard of him. If you haven't, I'm completely surprised. The man is arguably one of the best guitar players there is. Listening to his music is just a wow. You know, I know a lot of people say, oh, he didn't invent gent, other people had gent, but like, other people had metal that was going towards the stylings of gent, where this guy did it. He said, here's a new thing that nobody else has done before. And he killed it. I mean, the man, he grew in significant popularity as soon as I think CAFO. Once CAFO hit, like, everybody in the guitar world knew him. He's insane. If you're just somebody who's a fan of music, you have to go listen to this man. There's no vocals, it's all instrumental. Their music is like a mixture between classical with a distorted metal feel, and then they like mix in like the idea of like and like that interpretive jazz that sometimes people make fun of and stuff. Like he just completely redefined music by himself, and he's phenomenal. I bought an 8-string just because of him, and I've learned quite a few of his songs at this point. I mean, he's probably the reason why most people own 8-strings at this point.
He's a very influential artist.
Yeah, I mean the guy, he's barely 30. He's blew it out of the park. He blew it out of the park, and he's not even, you know,
he's not even at
a
the
half
midlife
century
crisis
old.
yet. Not
Yeah,
even the
like
midlife crisis, yeah.
he blew it out of the park as soon as he came out of college. Like the guy, he's almost a prodigy, except prodigies are typically people who are children. But this man, he's wow. My favorite song.
Yep, there we go.
What's that?
No, I was gonna say, what was your favorite song?
My favorite song is some people, you know, they like Kfo and they like all these really complex songs, but if you listen to his song Lippincott, wow, it will blow you away. I mean, any of his songs will completely blow you away, but I think Lippincott was a huge song that I was blown away by. He takes, what's his name? Is his name Tom Lippincott? That's where he got some of his inspiration for that song from, because he liked how he said it in an interview. I think it was his finger picking techniques and the way he wrote it, like the way he wrote his music, inspired him to obviously put his own twist on it because he's just insane. But this song is beautiful. Same with every other song he's ever released. You can't name a single song that he's released that isn't just like blows your mind. And just so everybody knows, whenever you listen to his songs, you will hear drums. You will hear what sounds like 30 guitars at once. That's just him. And then you will hear like a little bit of background music that's like more rhythm. That's his backup guitarist in the background just setting the rhythm for the song, and then there he is playing what maybe 3 guitarists could do together with just himself.
Damn. With a
Yeah,
fat B.
this man, if you're a guitarist and maybe you are just into guitar, check him out. He will blow your mind and almost discourage you because you'll be like, wow, is this what people are doing now? I feel like I haven't done anything with guitar. I did it. I was like, wow, apparently I'm not good anymore. If this is the new standard. He's insane. The man is insane. And just watch his YouTube videos of him doing his own stuff. Follow him on Instagram. Listen to things that he has to say, and like not the things that he has to say specifically, but the way he does things. Listen to his music that he just does on his own. It's incredible. The man's incredible.
All right, that wraps up the top 5 from all of us. But now just the quick segment of the show where we'll just quickly go through each of our couple honorable mentions. We prepared 3 of them. We didn't really list songs. That way we just make the playlist and everything less complex. But Matt, if you wanted to go through your, Zach. I keep thinking Matt goes first. I'm sorry, Zach. List me your 3 honorable mentions, Zach.
Dude, absolutely number fucking 1 is whoever the hell compiled lo-fi hip-hop beats
To relax. Study to.
To relax/study to.
Oh my god. That is the go-to playlist and probably the most used playlist I've ever used. In
my YouTube recommendation is full of just lo-fi
Hip-hop beats to relax/study to.
like hour-long lo-fi mixes now.
Dude, I don't even use the one on
listening to so
YouTube. I
much.
use the one on Spotify.
I use YouTube, like I'll just have it up on my YouTube and if I'm just like playing a chill game.
Yeah,
Now my recommendation is full of just lo-fi mixes.
Yeah, I load up the YouTube mix whenever I'm like playing chess. It's such a good thing to have in the background when you're playing chess. I highly recommend it.
I love lo-fi hip-hop beats to relax/study to. It is awesome.
Yeah.
Another one, honestly, purely out of the name alone, Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
Oh my god.
It's really good. They're really, really good. They're in the same like camp as I would say like the Lumineers. It's very like a lot more like folky type music, a lot of like percussion and like acoustic guitar. And then just to throw a rapper in there, I'm gonna throw Kyle in there. A lot of you probably know him for his I Spy song, but he has some really good music outside of I Spy. He's definitely like you can really tell like from his music that he's like definitely a gamer and like someone who just watches entertainment. He has a lot of various references to like video games and Game of Thrones and things like that. So
Do you remember when Kyle made the cameo in the Trevor Wallace video?
no, I didn't. I never saw that one.
Oh man, I'll have to link it to you. It's so funny.
But yeah, I like how there's a movie actually. I forget if it's on Netflix or if it's on some other streaming service, but it's called like Getting Famous or something like that. Kyle is like the main character in it, and it is actually really, really good. I highly recommend that. But yeah, those are my three.
Great honorable mentions. Matt, who I mistook as Zach to take that spot. Who would you put in your
I'm just
honorable
more
mentions?
handsome. It's alright.
It's chilly.
And taller.
Yeah, and taller.
Zach's like 5'4". It's really embarrassing.
My first honorable mention is a trio out of New York. They're called the Flatbush Zombies. If you're looking for like some grimy New York hip hop or like some just like relaxing, druggy hip hop type stuff, definitely check them out.
You're really down with the grime.
Yeah, dude, I love it. If it's grimy, I'm listening to it for
It's not the
sure.
sickness.
Specifically, their Better Off Dead mixtape. It's not on like Spotify and Apple Music, but I would definitely give it a listen. One of my personal favorite albums of all time. My other one is Frank Ocean. He Who Needs No Introduction. The man is a legend.
Frank is great. Forrest Gump, I think, might be my favorite song.
Pink and White, dude, is just...
I haven't heard it.
You've never heard Pink and White?
I don't think so.
I don't
like
think I've
his
ever,
rendition
this
of
man's about to
Moon
start
River.
yelling.
You will
The
hear
rendition of
Pink
Moon
and White.
River is really good.
And my last honorable mention is MF Doom. If you're looking for complex raps over soul beats, best be checking out MF Doom.
I'm
All
surprised.
caps when you spell the man's name.
I'm surprised I haven't heard anything about Tech 9 from you, Matt.
No, I haven't listened to Tech in a while.
That
Tech
was
in the
only a
church?
senior year thing.
That's like old school.
But Matt, if these persons acting up,
If the haters acting up, we throw them in the aqueduct. Much love to Odd Future.
All right, but my honorable mentions, in no particular order. I think they're all pretty much equal, in terms of just like quality and everything. I would have listed from Dabin, mostly because his Wild Youth album is so good, and it
did you
hits.
listen to the acoustic, Ron?
Oh, did I? It's
Dude.
so good, dude.
Oh man.
Alive was already my favorite song by him, but then I heard the acoustic version, and now I'm just sad.
Dude, it was like last week or the week before that. I started listening to it and I was like, wow, this is too good, but I really can't listen to it right now.
Yeah, like
My mental state is not great for this.
yeah, like the acoustic album was so good. Like the album, Wild Youth is just fantastic. But like Alive, Lights, and In Flames were my three favorite songs like from the album, and they're in the acoustic one. So I was like, oh, this will be an emotional nightmare. But let's listen to it, and it was so good. Fantastic album from him. I think that's the best. I'm really excited to see what he does next. But my next one, I would say, is Slander. As Zach brought up, Dylan Matthew being in his top 5. The songs that I like more of their like chill songs by Slander, but whenever they want to hit hard, they hit hard, and their sets do like you'll listen to like their more recent stuff and it's more chill and like vibey, especially like when it's with Dylan Matthew, but you see them live and they're the complete opposite. It's amazing, but they still manage to like tie it all together in beautifully. And then the last one I would say is Seven Lions. I love me some Seven Lions. Especially his, I believe he owns the record label, Ophelia Records. I believe that's him who owns it or whatever. But he's always like, if that is him who does run Ophelia, fantastic music that's always coming out of there. From like Mantis to Seven Line himself, Wooly I believe has put music out through them, but just his songs in general are just fantastic, or mashups of anything, especially the song Rush Over Me with Seven Lions, Set the Sky, Elenium. Fantastic song. It's probably my favorite song of all time. Not to spoil alert the top 5's favorite songs, but yeah, fantastic artist. Colin, your quick rundown of your honorable mentions.
So my honorable mentions is Slipknot.
Mm-hmm.
They have one of the most unique sounds. I mean, they have 4 different drummers that play 4 different types of drums. It's not like, they have 4 drum sets. They have one person who's playing on a drum set. They have, Clown, who's, part of his drum set, he uses a beer keg and a baseball bat. I mean, they have one of the most unique sounds because they use a little bit of everything in their music. They have a DJ, they have, crazy percussion people, they have one of the greatest guitarists there are, and then they have Corey Taylor, who just has this incredible love for music. So Slipknot's definitely a good honorable mention. My other honorable mention would be Steve Vai. If you haven't heard of him, I feel sorry for you. Fantastic music. He is, especially if you're in the guitar community, he can probably inspire you to play so many songs. I even bought his gem. What is that? The 77P with the blue floral and Cosmo black. So beautiful. I love it so much. Fantastic, has inspired me to play so many songs and learn so many different things. And then finally, I have Joey Landreth, who is from the Brothers Landreth band. That man, if you want to hear somebody play slide guitar with a slide, he's wow. Before listening to him, I've never heard some of the sounds that I've heard from him. He's great. He's more country, but he can play some insanely cool guitar.
Awesome. Well, I think that wraps up this podcast. I think it was our longest one that we've done. I mean, there hasn't been too many. It's only been 3, but good length and everything. Yeah, there's a lot to say. I mean, it's our favorite artist. Like, I'm sure we definitely have a lot to say about him and everything. But thank you, boys, for being here, and giving the fantastic audience your top 5. Remember, everyone, when you are listening, whenever this podcast is done, you can just load up Spotify by clicking that link in the description to go to our collaborative playlist that we made just for you guys if you did want to check out any of the music that we did talk about today from our top 5. Remember to like and share our podcast if you do. I mean, you don't have to. No one's forcing you, but like, if it's like a little bit of like no effort, you just send it to that one person you barely know, maybe they enjoy it, and then they send it to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and all of a sudden we're on his Instagram. So like, just help us out a bit. And
subscribe, follow, whatever it is on whatever platform, do whatever it is, because that shows that you're interested, and we know who's interested in our content more and more. And comments are one of the biggest things for people who are up and coming on any platform. It'll show that we are having interaction. So if you want to help and support us, but you do not have anything to say, just leave down in the comments the comment music.
Yeah, tell us your top 5.
You're here to support us.
Yeah, tell us your top 5
chat.
Yeah, what is your top 5 chat? Leave it in the description below or message us on social media. We would love to plug social media, but we don't have really a platform yet.
Well,
We're
don't
working
leave it in
on
the
that.
description because that means that you hacked into us. So don't do that.
Hashtag soon, by the way.
Yeah, hashtag soon. Maybe we'll just make a Discord, boys.
Also,
Who
if we
knows?
can get 2,000 likes, Matt's gonna make an OnlyFans our Patreon subscription.
Oh, I don't need that many likes. Trust me.
If we get 2 likes, we'll be very happy with the support. But yeah, thank you all for being a part of the podcast. Thank you, boys, for being here. We'll see you guys next time. Do we have an idea as to what topic we want to do? If we're not really sure yet, you can always just leave it in the comments below. Probably pick it, make a show out of it, and give you a little shout out. Yeah. Thank you all for listening. Have a great night, everyone.